Hello, staff. I just wanted to talk a little bit about flexible learning spaces as you're getting to know Flagstone and the style that we have with flexible seating. So this is a presentation that we did a couple of years ago that I just wanted to quickly share with you. We talk a lot about in 21st century education mirroring the workplace and the school site, getting students ready for that college and career. And these are just some points that support the flexible classroom. Just an overview: empowering student choice, increased student engagement. It really does allow for our students with attention issues to be able to get up and move around. So those are some of the reasons. Why flexible spaces? We provide an environment that each child works best in. There's some research here. I will add this presentation to the new teacher page so you can look at it a little bit more if you want to look at some of that research. It breaks in motion for heightened engagement. It gives students choice where they can sit so they can learn and engage better. Independence and autonomy. Teacher moves around the students, so it really does set up your classroom as student-owned and teacher-facilitator. Instead of having a teacher desk where the kids come to the teacher really does come to the students. So our desired state for flexible learning, and you will see that most of our classrooms, K-5, 6th grade's a little bit trickier. They do move around a little bit, but we have found that with 6th grade, preparing them for middle school, they do have more of a traditional seating style. However, that is teacher preference as well. But looking at flexible seating in our K-5 classrooms, from an outside of the classroom should look student-owned, and this does support that. There are at least 3 different kinds of seating in a classroom if you're truly doing flexible seating: floor seating, table seating, bar height seating, standing where they work. Have a writing surface for each child. So you want to be careful if you have flexible spaces that you don't have 36 writing spaces and 25 kids, because your room will look really crowded. Have a variety of seating options. A teacher station is nice. We have had some teachers that have put their materials for reading groups and stuff on a cart so they can roll them around and meet the kids where they are. Maker spaces. There are some classrooms that do have some pretty nice maker spaces that you can go and look at. There should be places for students to work individually, to create, to collaborate, to confer with their teacher, and even take their seating and move it to a different spot. So some teachers have used lap desks so they can sit on the floor. A lot of our teachers have written Donors Choose grants, so they purchase standing desks. Our PTO does offer some grants where people have used those grants for flexible seating too. You'll see every classroom does have a clear, visible thinking wall. Certainly you can add more to that should you find that necessary, but that is a space that's designed for kids to be able to collaborate with. Guidelines and support. You have to make sure that you articulate the why to parents. You have to have a good classroom management system so parents really understand how you're using flexible seating. Most of our parents really do support it and have seen it throughout their kids' education and have seen a difference if they did have traditional seating with their students and now have flexible seating. You are allowed to paint your rooms. If you do want to paint your room, please get an approval from me so that we can talk a little bit about paint color, because that might not be your room forever, and we want to make sure that it's a paint color that lots of folks can use. So all seating and furniture must be safe. You can't go to IKEA and buy furniture. It all needs to be ordered on a district approved furniture list, but we can do a lot to modify the furniture that we already have. So your colleagues will be able to give you a lot of support around that, and we can talk about that too. We're in our 5th year, I think 4th or 5th year of flexible seating. So here's some examples. This was at a different school when we first started it, so you can see that a lot of it is already furniture that we own at the school that they've just raised and lowered and brought in kind of some thematic colors with that, so it looks really homey. The idea is that Starbucks coffee shop kind of thing, so it looks like they're coming in to have a living room atmosphere where they can learn and be comfortable in their seating. Here's some more examples. You can see that these are all things. There's a couple different seating choices that were brought in from the outside, but most of it is school purchased furniture. A couple more examples. And this is in the art room in a different school, not in our school, but they also did utilize flexible seating so kids could work in different ways. We do have the round hockey stools. We do have those, some of those in classrooms, and those certainly are something that we would support purchasing. And some people bring in sofas. Just make sure if you do it, it doesn't look junky and that it is something that is clean and neat. We don't want our classrooms to look really, really crowded. So you can see all different kinds of designs. Lots of different choices. And again, I'll have this presentation on the New Teacher website, so you can go ahead and look at that too. So this right here was a school table that was raised higher and painted black because that was a color that they wanted in their classroom. On the bottom right, you can see it looks like 2 student desks. They're the longer student desks, but they were raised up and painted. And that is certainly something that you could do. It looks like something that was purchased. You will see some IKEA furniture in here. The district came out with guidelines after that, so we cannot buy furniture at IKEA if students are using it. So this would not be something that you could do. This right here I thought was creative. It's 2 tables with cushions on them, and those are school tables. Oh, and let me go back. This one right here on the right, that's what they talked about with the teacher station. And this is the makerspace where a lot of our teachers give kids time throughout the week, throughout the day, where they can demonstrate the learning outcome or what they know, and they have a bunch of supplies for them. And we have a lot of we have really supportive parents. If you put something out there that you need, they'll definitely bring it in for you. But these were some pretty creative maker spaces. And storage, that always becomes a problem when kids don't have their desks. So there's some creative ways for storing stuff. Every classroom does have cubbies, so you'll be able to do that. We ask that you not store stuff in the cubbies in the hallways. That's just for backpacks and jackets. We've tried that, and it becomes really junky, and it looks really bad. So storage has to be in your classrooms. And here's some pod areas. We're trying to keep those neat and clean. This was at a different school, but they also had some flexible seating options, and you'll see that in our pods too. And here's some of the boards that you have in your classroom. You can put paper behind them if you want to make a different color, but this is really supposed to be a student collaboration station. Lots of different ways that you can use it. There is a plastic board outside every classroom pod, and that is for your grade levels to put their unit plans together on that so that parents can see what you're working on. And so these right here are some examples with some websites of different things for flexible seating, but have fun with it. It really is cool. If you have any questions, feel free to talk to Meg or I, and we'd be happy to help you.